All right, I'm back, and so we have just discussed how heat can be transferred through mechanisms of conduction. So now let's talk about convection. And so an example of convection is going to be boiling water, where here is some water, okay, and then again the heat is down here, so there's our candle, and then what will happen is the atoms that make up the water down here are going to start to get more and more energy, so they're going to start moving faster and faster. Now we know that that this substance down here, this water, is going to expand as we heat it, because we learned that up here with heat expansion. So as this water gets hotter and hotter, it's going to expand, which means its density is going to decrease. The volume is going to increase, so the density decreases, and so we know that less dense things are going to float on top of more dense things, so this water is going to start to move up to the surface. And now when it gets to the surface, it still has to go somewhere, because there's more material coming up underneath it. So what will happen is this material is going to go up and then come back down again, and then it's going to go up and then come back down again. So we're going to call this a convection cell. So this movement of this material is going to be called convection. So it's going to be the movement of the heat because the material is carrying it. So this is different than conduction. In conduction, the material was moving, but it doesn't move very far. In the case of convection, because the material is moving, it's carrying the heat with it. So this is going to be convection in liquids. You can also have convection in gases as well. So this is how clouds form. A cloud, you got this moist air that then as it goes up in the air, it begins to expand, and so it's carried up to the top, and then you end up with clouds up here. So you have convection that occurs in boiling water, convection in the air. You also have convection in the oceans as well, where you have water that is heated up at the equator, and then it moves towards the North Pole where it cools off, and then it flows along the bottom of the ocean back to the tropics where it heats back up again. So you can have convection in the oceans. You can also have convection inside the Earth itself. So inside the Earth, you're going to have the core of the Earth where it's very, very hot. Outer space is very, very cold. So that heat is traveling up to the surface. And in the mantle, it can cause the atoms in the rocks to move microscopically, because if you were to look at those rocks, you'd say, that's a solid. And we said that solids don't convect very well. Well, it can convect, but it's just very slowly. So atom by atom, the material is making its way up to the surface of the Earth, and then it's going back down again. So you have convection inside the Earth itself. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about radiation.